Okay. So when you got to Casablanca and you were done with your quarantine,
Quarantine. After
what
that,
did
well,
you?
we visited Casablanca, went in and eat a few times and things like that. And there was a place on the road into Casablanca where they had all the people that had went over the hill and committed crime and things like that.
Yeah.
They called it Music Hill. And they had all the prisoners and everything in that, and they marched them from daylight till dark. And they'd sing these songs and they'd marching, you know.
Yeah.
But that's about all I remember about that other than going into Casablanca. And the French was in control of North Africa there at that time, and they had ships in there to try to keep the Americans from coming in and taking Casablanca.
Yeah.
Well, the Americans come in there and sunk their damn ships, and you could smell the dead bodies and things
Oh,
while we were there.
yuck.
But they had to hook the French ship thing and sink them before they could go in and take Casablanca. Then we stayed there around Casablanca for a little while. Then on Armistice Day on November 11th, I believe it was in 43. I think I what. Well, we went to Oran, North Africa, and marched in a parade. We put on a parade. The French and Americans and English all put on a parade there, and we had our music was one thing and their music was something else. So we'd get in step with our music, and then they'd come in with their mag pipes and first one thing.
Yeah.
It kind of threw us off and things like that. Anyhow, it was rainy and we marched in the rain and that day. So that was the end of that.
Mhm.
And
Was
then,
was there anything like that you noticed about their cultures or anything in Iran that
well, it
that
wasn't.
you noticed or was like
Around
interesting?
North Africa?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't around there. We just
You just
marched
did the
in
march.
there that one day,
Okay.
and we went from there back to our camp, and then we started shipping out, of course, North Africa. We went to Bizerta, Matur, and Algiers, and all them places on by train, of course, North Africa.
Did you
And
stop at each place and get off, or was that just like
oh, we
no?
did. You go as far as you can one way and stop. Yeah, we stopped at Bizerta and Matur, and the mud was pretty deep and things like that. It was nasty.
Oh yeah.
And on the train to cross the North Africa there, they had these trees that grow these.
Nuts or something?
Uh,
Like a nut or something?
no, it was more or less
A fig or
figs or something like that. Yeah.
okay.
And we'd get off the train every once in a while and catch one of them guys hauling figs and things like that and get some of them and eat some of them and go ahead. And that's about all of it. We went
Uh-huh.
on from Bizerta to Matur and then Algiers. That's where we shipped out from Algiers to Naples, Italy.
Okay. Now, when you were at Algiers, is that when you learned where you were gonna go to like be what group you were gonna be assigned
No, we
to?
didn't. We
Not
had
till you
no
got to
idea.
Italy. Okay.
I had no idea till we got in Italy, and I had no idea then. We
Okay.
just landed in Italy and stayed around there till I joined my outfit. But anyhow, and before I joined my outfit, our troops was on a hill mountain up above us and things like that. They asked for 8 volunteers to carry food and ammunition and things up the mountain to the troops, and I volunteered to go. So I wanted to get away from the guy that I was having a tent with.
Okay.
So I went up there for 8 days, up and down the mountain for 8 days to deliver food. We'd we didn't carry any guns or anything. We just carried our canteens and what our backpacks or whatever we had, and we had the mules all packed up with supplies and things like that, and they could go up the mountain so far And then we had to take the supplies off of them and put them on our back and carry them the rest of the way up the mountain.
I had heard that you had to take body bags up there too. Like
Well, yeah,
they were going through a lot of
the
them.
body bag was for. We took all kinds of body bags. I think each one of us had 3 body bags when we landed in Casablanca. And we wondered what it was all about.
Mhm.
Cause them old Arabs there in Casablanca out there, they had their way to bring our wives up there. We had a camp there with a barbed wire fence around it. And they'd bring their wives up in that field above the tent and things like that, and they'd trade sex for them body bags.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, just barbed wire fence and things like that. But anyhow, after I got up on the mountain carrying the supplies and things, I learned what the body bag was for. Because when a boy got killed, they put him in a body bag and put him over a mule and bring him back down the mountain.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I knew really what I was carrying all them damn body bags for.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you learn.
Yeah. So you said you did that for 8 days?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do after that?
Well, I put on over closer to the camp and things like that, and then they took us to the 36th Division where I was lived sometime in Christmas, right before Christmas. Our troops were still up on the mountain and things like that just before Christmas. We went to 36th Division headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And waited around there till the troops come back. Troops come back from the mountain and things like that, and then we got to meet a few of them, but we didn't know any of them or anything like that. So we'd do a little gambling. We had a little money in the pocket, and that's about all we did around there until we got ready to go to the front line.
Yeah.
And
So when you went to the front line, what was your first battle?
first battle was around like among friendly troops. We were supposed to go up and take a hill that looked over the river and things like that, and guard the Germans from coming back.
Yeah.
And there wasn't supposed to be anybody ahead of us, so we was going over and being led up there, and we heard somebody in front of us up there, and first thing you know, we was shooting at each other.
Oh gosh.
And it was some of our own troops up there. We didn't know was there. And that's when I got to be number 2 machine gunner, cause the guy that was the number 2 machine gunner in front of me was the cook.
Yeah.
And he got shot in the thumb or something like that. He might have shot himself, I don't know. Anyhow, he got to go back, and they give me his job. So I was number 2 machine gunner from then on.
Okay. And what does a number 2 machine gunner do?
He feeds the ammunition through the gun and takes care of it and so forth and so on.
Do you carry extra ammunition too?
Well, we had 4 ammunition carriers. It carried 2 boxes of ammunition apiece.
Okay.
And one or two, I think, it carried water to cool the machine guns.
Mhm. And what did you carry?
I carried the tripod for the machine gun, which weighed about 70 pounds, something like that.
Oh gosh.
Plus my backpack and my torpedo, not torpedo, but
Your rifle?
yeah, I had a rifle, my gas pack, and my hand grenades and things like that, and water, spade for digging yourself in, and
You had a lot
they
then.
had a lot.
How many hand grenades did they give you to carry?
I think I had 4.
4? Gosh.
They weighed about 10 pounds apiece.
Really? They were that. How big are they?
They're not very big, but they're solid cast iron, see?
Oh.
And when they hit, they explode, and
That shrapnel of the cast
Yeah.
iron goes out everywhere. Okay. I'd never seen one. I didn't know. Um, okay, so after that battle, then what did you do after that hill that you were taking over?
Well, we went on and kept going to where our destination was, and we got into pinned down one night. We run into our guide was got lost or something like that,
Yeah.
and we run into a German squad and things like that, and they began firing at us and pinning us down, and we got in a hole, a shell hole, and hid out there or stayed there, and this one buddy of mine was just had turned 18. He was called Greenfield, and he looked up to me. I don't know why, but anyhow,
Yeah.
he depended on me to calm him down, so I'd calm him down and told him to wait. We'll get out of here in the morning. So next morning, well, the Germans either left or we run them out or something. So we got up and headed on to our destination. And by all that time, we were getting out of water and things like that. And we had water pills to purify your water in your canteen and things like, and told not to drink anything unless you had these canteens. Well, we were so thirsty, we come up on a spring
Yeah.
down there. We didn't know whether it had pouring in there or not. Anyhow, we all getting down there and drinking the water out of the spring. We drank it anyhow
Yeah.
and filled our canteens up. And then we got up from there, and our final destination before we left, we had to cross an opening that the Germans could see.
What country? Are you still in Italy?
Still in Italy.
Okay.
And we had the open space across there before we got to our final destination. And you had to go crawl through this open space, and it had landmines in it. And the guy that went across the space in front of me stepped on a landmine, was blowed to pieces. They picked it pieces up in a sandbag,
Oh.
and
He was in front of you?
yeah, he was in front of me. So we'd go off one at a time, you know. So when it got my time, I knew what had happened to him, but anyhow, he got to look and make sure he could tell where the landmine was. You'd see once in a while, you'd see a little bump in the ground or something like that. So we got through there and went on over to where we were going to dig in. We dug in and stayed there until we crossed the river.
Gosh, that's
And
terrible.
one night we fired the 4 machine guns in our squad was, I think we fired about 18,000 rounds of ammunition that night. Overhead fire to our troops that was trying to go across the river.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next night they come back and they come up to us in our shell hole and told us that we're going across the river and they're going to come back and take our replacements. So we got out of our holes and started to cross the river. And as we were going down, there's people that had been across had been shot and wounded and things like that. And they were coming back and crying and begging us not to go over, that we're going to die, but we had orders to go. So
Is
we
this
went.
the Rapido River crossing?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
Okay.
So we went ahead and went down and crossed the river. But the Germans had knocked out boats and things that had tried to cross the river and bridges and things. But the engineers finally got a bridge across, and we walked across on a bridge without any problem. But once we got over there, that's when we were in a landmine. There is about 5 acres there, just loaded with landmine. They had crossfire every way. They had it pinpointed in, and whenever we got over, we got pinned down. And well, it held down there for a while. And we fought for a couple of days, and wound up we had got orders to surrender because so many of our boys had been killed. And